Assalamualaikum and a very good day to madam. Today, I would like to present my interactive portfolio, which is the assignment 1 for interactive media. My name is Nurul Syazwani binti Azman and I'm from DGD program. Um, for first, I will start with my report, and for the first in the report is my metaphor design and why the reason I choose my metaphor. So the metaphor that I use for my interactive portfolio is fantasy term, which basically I focus on witch and Halloween mood. The reason I choose this term because I want to show that my imagination is beyond normal and I can dream big. I also like fantasy since they are unique, fun to watch, and also they're fun to make. And I also try to have most fun and iterative idea for this portfolio as I want people to enjoy my portfolio as well. Next is the content flow, which is start from intro page. Next is main page, and then divided to 4 button, which is social media, personal data, education background, and personal artwork, which also be divided to 4 button, which is photography, illustration, advertising, and poster. Next is the sketches that I made for each of the pages. First, we have intro, media social, education background, portfolio, profile pages, personal artwork, photo, illustration, advertising, and poster. Next is the explanation on each pages that are available in my portfolio. First is the intro pages. On these intro pages, I make the cauldron as the main subject here, which is also the button that gonna lead you to the main page. I also make the bubble and the smoke as a movie clip so that they move in loop. And then I also make the stick in the cauldron move from the right and left whenever you hover over it. Next is the main pages. I put 5 objects here. In this main pages, I make it green as I want to represent that it was inside the cauldron. There's four main button that will lead you to other page and 1 button back that will lead you back to the intro pages. The first is the paper plane, which is gonna go to the social media button. Next is the scroll paper, which is the personal data. Next is book, which is I represent as my education background. And lastly, crayon, which is personal artwork. This is the next pages. If you click on paper plane, which is social media, there are 3 social media that I represent here, and each one of them is a button. First, Instagram, you have to hit on it. Next is Snapchat, also have to hit on it. And lastly, LinkedIn. And lastly, there's a piece of paper on the top left, which is the back button that will lead you back to the main pages. Next is personal data. I include my picture and also my data here, which is my profile picture is actually the button that which when you click on it, you're going to see my profile data. And the piece of paper on the top left is a back button that will lead back to the main pages. Next is education background. Education background on these pages have 3 logo, which is my primary school, my high school, and lastly, the university I was in right now. So all 3 of that is a hover, which will show you my duration that I go to each school. And the piece of paper on the top left is a paper that will lead you back to the main pages. And next is personal artwork. There are four buttons here that will lead into the next pages, which is photography, illustration, advertising, and lastly poster. Each one of them will lead to my artwork, and also they will have a back button that will lead you back to the main pages. Right, at these pages, there's a yellow paper on the top left that will also lead you back to the main pages. Next is the pages for my photography. There are 3 photography that I include and 1 button back, which will lead you back to the personal pages, personal artwork pages. Next is illustration. Also have a yellow paper that will lead you back to the personal artwork pages. Next is advertising. Also have a piece of paper that will lead you back to the personal artwork. And lastly, poster. Also lead you back to the personal artwork with a yellow piece of paper as a button back. For And lastly, based on what I have learned, and I would like to conclude from this assignment, from what I have learned during the making of this assignment, I learned more about Adobe Animate, and also I learned there's much more we can do other than draw one by one frame. I also learned to make a button, which is a very new thing to me. During the learning, I also learned how to make proper storyline and content flow, as it was actually very helpful for me to finish my work easier and to be done according to the schedule. In this assignment too, it helped me to understand that the anime has much more thing that I can do other than basic thing that I learned in the semester before. I now know also how to put action in frame and also stop frame, which I never knew. I'm very enjoy the learning process during this assignment and wish to learn much more from the future. Next, I will show you my project in the SWF. However, I don't have Adobe Flash, so I will present using this. I am very sorry for the inconvenience. That's it. That is all from me. Thank you and have a very nice day.